So, hello everyone and welcome back to some more Dragon Age Origins. So, this time around we will be starting with some shut-in. Going around
I
people
see
and
it found some augmentation crystals. I was not even aware it knew about them. Well done. So, what does it think? They don't make me look any wider, do they? I find I'm already too wide as it is.
I guess not. No, they're quite slimming.
It must be the vertical pattern it put them in. Did it know to do that? It must have. I think it should find some more as soon as possible. I want to glitter from ear to ear, so to speak.
Okay, sure. Need the glitter. Aww. What's with the heavy sides?
Oh, that. Merely reflecting on the hopeless nature of the task in front of it. The most likely outcome is that it and its companions will become a stain on some rock for the Darkspawn to tread upon. I shall be moved to a single tear by the tragedy.
It's just a single tear. I don't think our chances are so bad. They're bad, but not so bad. It's better to be a little bit hopeful.
Oh, how adorable. Such hope is sweet to see, if a bit alarming. What's that? Did it hear flapping wings? There may be pigeons nearby. We should be alert.
Really alert, yes. Extreme alertness needed for pigeons. I would have expected clones to be different.
Different? Different than what? Different than a statue? Different than a log? Should I talk in a monotone? Yes, Master, I exist to serve the Master. I shall kill for the Master and only for the Master. Perhaps it expected me to have a booming voice. Recite limericks. I can recite limericks, if it likes.
See, are they dirty limericks?
Mostly they involve slaughtering pigeons in creative and invasive manners. I have never met another golem. I have no idea what one might be like, or why I wouldn't be like them. Why? Has it met other golems? Did they not sound as I do?
I have no idea what golems sound like.
I don't know what other golems might be like, but I am already superior by virtue of my free will. This is a good thing.
I'm glad. It's an experience, I'll give it that.
So is being drawn and quartered. Maybe I'm not the only one with a smart mouth, Now stop talking so much. The wagging of its moist little tongue is distracting.
That's weird, but sure. Moist little tongue, and then I talk to you immediately again. I have some questions.
It doesn't have better things to do.
No. Are those crystals in your skin?
I like to think of them as accessories.
Do all golems have them?
I suspect that it is an art that was practiced when golems were more, commonplace. My former master collected whatever lore he could find on the subject. He searched far and wide to collect what crystals he could and then added them. It is not an unpleasant sensation.
It's a dwarven thing then.
So I would assume. My former master enjoyed poking around the ruins in the Deep Roads after all, and bartering with others who did. As I understand it, the crystals allow me to alter the flow of magic around me. Wilhelm had hoped to turn me into a battery of mana, something he could tap at will.
But they can do other things too, right?
Some of the crystals increase the presence of mana, some absorb or reflect spells. There are various kinds. All I can promise is that should it ever find one of these crystals, I can likely tell it the function and what it would do if added to me.
Alrighty, that is pretty good. Well, would you be willing to have more added?
Why not? I don't get to wear clothing and other adornments like the rest of you creatures after all. That answers its question, I assume? Unless it has more.
Always more questions, yes. How did you end up in Honolit? Do you remember?
Oh,
Honolit?
yes. That I remember quite well. My former master, the Mage Wilhelm, he brought me. As I recall, he had acquired some position with whatever lord ruled the land. I, being little more than a glorified possession at the time, was brought along. Oh, how he enjoyed impressing the villagers with me. Gollum snarl at that villager there, be fearsome. And of course, I would have to do it.
Be fearsome. I would have thought you'd enjoy scaring humans.
I'd have happily stomped them all into paste, and then ripped down their little houses and stomped on them, too. In fact, after 30 years of watching them, I'd do it twice. What I didn't like was being ordered to do it. Dangled in front of those frightened morons like some scary thing. Once I was a statue, it took those villagers years before they'd even approach me. The first one to actually work up the nerve to touch me urinated himself. Ugh.
Well, do you remember anything before Honlit?
I traveled with the mage. He did a lot of traveling, I remember that. But where we went, it is rather fuzzy. I remember great battles, fighting many humans long ago. They were all very soft and squishy. And before that, No, there are only images. I was somewhere dark.
Yeah, close to Orzammar, I would assume. Just how old are you exactly?
I have no idea. Wilhelm used to brag that the dwarves stopped making golems centuries ago. I do not age as you soft creatures do. Sadly, my memory is no better. Plus, I get bored and stop paying attention.
So, why were you out in front of the tower, by the way?
That is where Wilhelm kept me. He wanted me out in the open where I could be frightening like a scarecrow. I was supposed to watch for thieves. Pah! Plus, his wife didn't want me indoors. She said there wasn't room for me. Hag.
He's 5?
I was once larger, 10 feet tall. Then the loathsome hag complained that I couldn't fit through the doors. So the mage had me shrunk down. Can it believe it? And she still wanted me out.
How does someone shrink a golem?
With a chisel. And a lot of nerve.
That doesn't sound pleasant. But so, you didn't like this Wilhelm, I take it.
He did love using that control rod. Fondled it so much his wife actually threatened to throw it in the lake. Ha! I would have liked to have seen that. Which reminds me, where did it find the rod? Did it pay a great deal for it?
Wilhelm's 5 sold it, I believe, and then I got it another way.
Hag.
Yep, interesting. I'm done asking questions
Good.
about
I
that.
was just about done talking about it. It does like to have a good chat now and again, doesn't it?
Yes. It, as in me, does. Like to shut sometimes.
It
More
doesn't have
questions.
better things to do.
Definitely no. I'm told you killed your former master.
Did I not already tell it that I do not remember doing such? I remember having a master. My memories of what happened to him are vague.
I understand that. Vague, but not non-existent.
Clever and true. Oh, very well. Let me see what I can recall. My former master enjoyed experimenting upon me. I remember that much. There was tinkering with spells, and then the crystals. He was very eager to alter my function, I think.
What sort of experiments?
Bah! I am no mage, and he did not explain himself to me, any more than it would explain itself to a sword. He possessed my control rod, And back then, it would have prevented me from doing anything he did not command me to, no matter how I might have wished to. So what happened? I am unsure. He was experimenting, and then nothing.
So what do you remember next?
And then he was gone. I was standing where I was, in the village, and I could no longer move. The villagers came, poked and prodded me in fear, and then realized they could neither move me nor destroy me. So they simply left me. And in time, I forgot I hadn't stood there all along.
You didn't wonder where he'd gone?
Wonder? I was glad that he was gone. For so many years, I'd had to leap to that little toadstool's every command. Get this, pick up that, put it down, pick it up again. The gall! At first, I'd hoped he'd simply decided to leave me there paralyzed. An acceptable trade-off. After years passed, I simply stopped caring.
The years but I simply stopped caring. Sounds like you had a good rest at least.
I think I was ready to move on. Another few years and the moss would have covered my face. And then where would I have been? Whatever the mage did seemed to render the control rod useless, for which I should be thankful, yes? And provided it doesn't decide to copy his experiments, not that I would allow it, it is nothing to fear from me. Much.
Not much to fear. I was simply curious about the story.
And now it knows, and doesn't it feel better? Let us
Yes.
get back to the walking and the fighting. My stone is beginning to itch again.
Itchiness.
Ah,
More
it
questions.
doesn't have better things to do.
No, never. So you watched the village day and night for years.
I do not sleep, so yes, and I thank it for reminding me. Try to imagine, if it will, what it would be like to be surrounded by nothing but boring peasants, all oblivious to it.
Sounds like you were a bit of a voyager.
Oh, yes. It certainly was the height of intrigue to listen to the accounts of how young Dornan had scandalized the village by his purchase of an Orlesian hat. And the argument that those
God.
two muddy farmers had over the price of barley for a whole summer. Riveting. And
Amazing.
then there were the birds. A whole village full of pigeons and ravens and sparrows all perching on me day in and day out.
Well, I can understand why you don't like pigeons. I wouldn't want them pooping all over me either all the time, or being all annoying all the time. Sounds a little... yes, your bird thing.
It is not a thing. It is a perfectly reasonable reaction to being constantly pestered. I was helpless to react.
I do agree.
Those foolish villagers would spread birdseed near me, drawing the birds, because they thought having birds perch on me was quaint. Quaint! If
Real
there
quaint.
hadn't been the occasional kind soul to scour me clean, I would... I
Oh,
don't
sounds
care
horrible.
to discuss this anymore.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking that actually is going to be a huge disapproval because I just happened to choose a stupid answer. Because I was thinking that that doesn't sound the best, but I was hoping that I could have said something more too. But I couldn't. So unfortunately, a lot of minus because of it.
It doesn't have better things to do.
How did Wilhelm come to acquire you?
That part I know, as Wilhelm often bragged about it to whomever was willing to listen to him. He claimed to have found me in the deep roads. I was in the ruins of a Tig, he said, deactivated, with my control rod not far away.
Do you know where in the deep roads this was?
No, that secretive bastard refused to tell me. I would ask and ask, but no. He used to say that one day, if I were compliant and didn't talk back at his wife, he would take me there and I could look around myself. Rotten, lying bastard. If I had his head in my hands now, I would squeeze it like a giant lemon. Squish.
Just a squish. You don't know why you were there?
I think I remember a battle. It was long before, and then there was darkness. Bah, in short, no, I do not remember why I was there. It makes no difference.
Probably against Darkspawn, though. What was Wilhelm doing in the deep roads?
It was a hobby of his, scavenging. One of the reasons he traveled so much is that he was looking for entrances into the deep roads, old places the dwarves had long forgotten. And then he would sneak down and search for magical treasure, before anyone was the wiser.
Wouldn't that have been dangerous?
Indeed. He had spells that allowed him to remain hidden and move quickly, but he had no defense against the blight, and worried constantly that he would get sick. If any darkspawn showed themselves, he fled. More often, he would have to fight other scavengers, dwarves who had become tainted. In the end, it killed him. I mean, he found me there, right?
Indeed. So if he hadn't found you, you would still be in the darkness.
I wouldn't have had to put up with the twit, and I would be none the wiser. I don't think I was aware while I was there. Not like in the village. Or perhaps I was. Perhaps that was the dark place, and I simply couldn't see anything.
I
How long
presume
could
so.
even I sit in the darkness and stare out at nothing, never sleeping? Oh, I do not wish to think of that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound nice.
On then.
Yeah. Improvements. I don't know how I'll
It
ever
doesn't have
get
better things to
in the
do.
good places with anyone. You don't seem to like humans much.
That is true. I do not. I'm not interested in getting into a discussion on the subject, however. Ask another time. If it is done asking overly obvious questions, let us find some humans to throw off a cliff or something.
Sure. But yeah, no. I would have been in a great position with Shale, unless I went to say that's one stupid thing that took him completely like, nope, not like me, like in the least, not one little bit. I wish I knew exactly what would be for Fu. Like, sure, of course I know some stuff, but definitely not all. That's a decent belt. I don't have any idea who really would like the ancient map of the Imperium, to be honest. Probably should be saving the rest of the ales for the one specific person. Like, I am thinking of wanting to do one thing
If there's
because it would be
anything I
nice to
can do
do.
for you, please. I'm sure.
As in, there are these thoughtful gifts. Should I really be so, or even these sugar cakes and thoughtful gifts? So should it be really that I can't just get someone into a little bit more positive by just letting him have a couple of cakes or something so that I can talk a little bit more with them? Specifically, I'm thinking about Sten because of the fact that like I screwed up so much with him, and if I want to do his quest, then I will never get it done unless I give him some gifts or something at some point. So I won't be giving anything to anyone else, not at least at this point, even if Liliana maybe could use something too, and Shale and everyone, but the only one that, and as such, I guess Liliana likes me so much that I could actually go and see what special stuff the special item is that why am I supposed to give it to you now? How somehow you look like Sten
You have
to
my
me,
thanks.
apparently. You're still neutral, though.
You have my thanks.
At least you would be warm, so you might actually talk a little bit more to me, which would be a positive. What was it that I was thinking of doing? Oh yeah, the
You
loot.
and your friends are formidable folk, indeed.
Let me see the loot. Sure, I'll get it back and just see what it does even, because... And I guess I could get the stick too, but let's just get this because, like, I've done pretty much everything with Liliana, so why couldn't I give this to Liliana? It makes sense that I could be giving something like this for her anyways. Or can I give this? I guess it doesn't work like that after all. Fine. I don't know exactly how that works then. Maybe I need to have it in the inventory
need?
for her
I'm
to
sure
use
either-
it or something. I don't know. I don't know how that sort of stuff exactly works. At least that didn't work out yet. So, fine. Anyways, then, maybe you now would like to talk to me a little
You
bit
are
more.
not quite as callow as I thought. That is unexpected.
Only because I gave you freaking cake. Callow? You thought I was callow?
You sound surprised. You must have heard this before. You'll get over it. Eventually.
Eventually. So, would you want to be willing to tell me now why you were caged?
I caged myself. A weak mind is a deadly foe, as you are no doubt aware.
And especially, like I was going to say, I'm sure that there would be a couple of other keeps, normal keeps, that I would be able to get somewhere so that we could start his quest. But it would be nice to start it before we go all the way into Orzammar. That's basically the reason that I thought that for sure. Why not? Just let him have the couple of gifts. What do you mean by weak mind?
That is complicated. I told you before that I was sent here. I was not sent alone. I came to your lands with 7 of the Beresad, my brothers, to seek answers about the Blight. We made our way across the Ferelden countryside without incident, seeing nothing of the threat we were sent to observe. Until the night we camped by Lake Calenhad. They came from everywhere. The earth beneath our feet, the air above us. Our own shadows harbored the Darkspawn. I saw the last of the creatures cut down, too late. I fell.
What happened to the other Qunari?
I am told no others survived. I don't know how long I lay on the battlefield among the dead, nor do I know how the farmers found me. I only know that when I woke I was no longer among my brothers, and my sword was gone from my hand.
What did you do?
I searched for it, and when that failed I asked my rescuers what had become of it.
Did the farmers know where it was?
They said they found me with nothing.
Did you believe them?
I did. I knew they didn't have the blade. They had no reason to lie to me. I panicked. Unthinking, I struck them down.
You panicked over a lost blade?
That sword was made for my hand alone. I have carried it from the day I was set into the Beresad. I was to die wielding it for my people. Even if I could cross Ferelden and Tevinter unarmed and alone to bring my report to the Arishok, I would be slain on sight by the Antam. They would know me as soulless, a deserter. No soldier would cast aside his blade while he drew breath.
Couldn't you search for it?
If I knew where to look, it would be in my hand now.
Where did you find the Darkspawn exactly?
Near Lake Calenhad.
Well, don't worry, we'll try to find it.
Perhaps those words are empty, but thank you all the same.
Yay, Sten approves.
You called.
Once in my lifetime. I would like to talk about something you
Speak,
mentioned.
Then I suggest
Apparently
we move
nothing
on.
though, sadly.
I am hardly surprised.
Do you find Ferelden very strange?
To put it lightly, no one has a place here. Your farmers wish to be merchants. The merchants dream of being nobles, and the nobles become warriors. No one is content to be who they are.
Well, I definitely wouldn't just want to remain a freaking castless forever. Don't the Qunari ever want to change their lot in life?
What does that accomplish? The farmer who buys a shop is never a merchant. He is always a farmer turned merchant. He carries his old life with him as a turtle carries its shell.
I can understand that, and to a degree that's true. But on the other hand, what was my purpose? I was a castless in my society. I had no purpose. I was nothing. Never, and I could never become anything. by my system. So, no, that's not very nice to me. That could make the turtle stronger though, and it is true that the turtle might also become stronger by that.
Does it? It's also his weakness. If he stumbles and falls over, it pins him on his back. It is better to armor yourself with no more than what you need. One life, one duty.
I wish that I could say something about me being a castless and all. It could be true, but it wouldn't be for me, so it's like, eh. Well, I can take now the warden as my duty, but I did change because I was just a castless before. And it's not like you ever get to be born into being a warden after all, you just happen to get chosen one way or another. So...
Shall we move on?
I guess, to some degree. You sound a bit homesick though.
Perhaps. It's strange to be in a crowd and hear a language that is not your own. To see faces that are and aren't like yours. I miss the smells of Seheron. Tea and incense and the sea. Ferelden smells of wet dogs.
Yay. You left out the rotting garbage. It also smells of that.
True. I was trying to forget that part. Shall we move on?
Is there anything that you like about Ferelden?
There is interesting food here. You have a thing. It doesn't have a word in the Kunari tongue. Little baked things like bread, but sweet and crumbly.
Cookies?
Yes. We have no such things in our lands. This should be remedied.
It certainly should. I'll keep that in mind.
Shall
Then-
we move on?
Yeah, let's go.
As you wish.
I guess there's nothing else. Well, now Sten approves a lot because of this discussion. It's just like, because I got stuck in the stupid situation that I couldn't get anywhere. Like, now he likes me well enough, but it's just like getting stuck below 20 or max 20. And it's like, I just would want him to, like, just be able to tell me about more stuff. And I know that I would have been able to get a painting somewhere still, at least, because he seemed to like a painting before, so I could give him a painting at some point, but it's just nicer to get into it a little bit earlier. So let's actually go and try to find Sten's sword then next, so let's just gather our party and head forward. I will have him with us, certainly enough, because it
Yes.
just makes simply
Yes.
sense.
Indeed.
To be continued with Kidarusha next time in Dragon Age.